Hello, this is Ashan Mewasing.
Hello, I'm Ismail, and we're live on Ocean News from London.
Together, we're bringing you the day's most crucial stories, ensuring you stay informed and ahead of the curve.
Let's dive straight into today's headlines.
A highly anticipated summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin yielded no agreement to resolve or pause Moscow's war in Ukraine, although both leaders described the talks as productive before heading home. The two leaders said they had made progress on unspecified issues. Donald Trump said, quote, "We've made some headway, standing in front of a backdrop that read pursuing peace. There's no deal until there's a deal."
Ukrainian military intelligence said Russia is preparing to test its new nuclear-capable, nuclear-powered cruise missile and, if successful, plans to use the results to bolster its negotiating position with the West. Andriy Yusov, a spokesperson for the service, issued a written statement before US President Donald Trump was due to hold talks in Alaska with Russian President Vladimir Putin on ending Moscow's war in Ukraine. Russia is preparing for another round of tests of the 9M730 Burevestnik, his statement said. The purpose of these tests is to validate scientific and technical solutions implemented by the missile. If successful, Russia will leverage the test results to defend its interests in negotiations with the West.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia was continuing to attack Ukraine ahead of a summit in Alaska between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, but its attempts to show strength with the new assault in the east had failed. Zelensky said, quote, "On the day of the negotiations, they also kill people, and that says a lot. The war continues. It continues precisely because there is no order nor any indication that Moscow is preparing to end this war." Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said that foreign companies that want to do business in Brazil are welcome, speaking at the opening ceremony for a factory for Chinese automaker GWM in the state of Sao Paulo. Lula said, "Count on the Brazilian government. Whoever wants to leave, leave. Whoever wants to come, we welcome you with open arms." During his speech, Lula criticized the 50% tariffs on Brazilian goods imposed by US President Donald Trump and said that his country is facing an unnecessary turbulence. Brazil's auto exports are expected to grow 38.4% in 2025 compared to 2024, reaching 552,000 units. Data from Automakers Association ANAFEVA showed last week. Serbia's police used tear gas and crowd control vehicles in evening in Belgrade to disperse anti-government protesters who threw firecrackers and flares at police officers in what is seen as a major escalation of the 9-month-long protests. The protesters gathered in front of the army headquarters building that was bombed in 1999 by NATO. A few hours later, they started throwing flares at police officers. Trash containers were overturned and set on fire, and one tree caught fire. The police threw tear gas canisters to push protesters away. US President Donald Trump's wife, Melania Trump, raised the plight of children in Ukraine and Russia in a personal letter to Russian President Vladimir Putin, two White House officials have said. President Trump hand-delivered the letter to Putin during their summit talks in Alaska. Slovenian-born Melania Trump was not on the trip to Alaska. Russia's seizure of Ukrainian children has been a deeply insensitive one for Ukraine. Ukraine has called the abductions of tens of thousands of its children taken to Russia or Russian-occupied territory without the consent of family or guardians a war crime that meets the UN treaty definition of genocide. Previously, Moscow has said it has been protecting vulnerable children from a war zone. The United Nations Human Rights Office has said Russia has inflicted suffering on millions of Ukrainian children and violated their rights since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine begun in 2022. Those were the headlines for today.
Don't go anywhere. After a quick break, we'll be right back to delve into each story with comprehensive coverage. Stay tuned.